Everyone crowds the same famous parks while 10 of the most breathtaking protected places on Earth stay almost completely empty. Today we count down the wild landscapes that belong on your bucket list before the rest of the world finally catches on. In this video, we travel from German sandstone canyons to the glaciers of Patagonia, covering rainforests, deserts, ice caps, and towering peaks. Each destination is a real national park that most travelers have never even heard of. Do yourself a favor and tap that save button right now so you can plan every single one of these trips later. Grab something to drink, get comfortable, and let us start our countdown down at number 10. Number 10 takes us to Saxon Switzerland in eastern Germany, a fairy tale maze of towering sandstone pillars carved over millions of years. It sits along the Elbe River just south of Dresden, hiding some of Europe's most dramatic rock scenery. The park is a labyrinth of eroded spires, deep ravines, and flat-topped mesas cloaked in dark pine forest. Mist often pools between the pillars at dawn, making the whole valley look like a painting come to life. The must-see icon is the Bastei, a natural stone bridge strung between rock towers nearly 200 meters above the river. Standing on that narrow span with the Elbe curling far below is an experience you will never forget. Peregrine falcons nest on the sheer cliff faces, while red deer and wild boar move quietly through the forest floor. Rock climbers have tested themselves on these sandstone towers for well over a century. A hidden detail most visitors miss is the network of old smuggler paths threading through the narrowest gorges. Some passages are so tight you must turn sideways and climb wooden ladders bolted right into the rock. It stays under the radar because travelers to Germany rush toward castles and cities, instead of this quiet corner near the Czech border. Most tourists never realize such a rugged wilderness exists so close to Dresden. Come here for a few days and you can hike for hours through this maze without ever seeing another soul among the pillars. Saxon Switzerland quietly proves that Europe still hides truly wild, rugged, and secret places. If dramatic stone towers and quiet green forest speak to your soul, this park truly deserves a spot near the top of your travel list. But our next destination trades cool sandstone for steaming, ancient emerald green jungle. At number 9, we fly to Thailand and the ancient rainforest of Khao Sok National Park. Often called older than the Amazon, Khao Sok protects a jungle that has thrived for over 160 million years. Towering limestone karst mountains rise straight out of the forest, draped in vines and wrapped in morning fog. Beneath them lies Chiao Lan Lake, an emerald reservoir ringed by jagged jungle peaks. The bucket list experience here is sleeping in a floating bungalow tethered to the shoreline of that glassy green lake. You wake to gibbon calls echoing across still water as mist lifts off the karsts. The dense forest shelters herds of wild elephants, shy sun bears, tapirs, and even the occasional elusive tiger deep in the tangled interior. Great hornbills glide between the towering treetops while macaques chatter along the muddy riverbanks below. A little-known secret is the giant Rafflesia flower, the largest bloom on the planet, which erupts here without any leaves or stem. Finding one in the undergrowth feels like discovering something from another world. Khao Sok stays overlooked because most visitors to Thailand chase the famous beaches and island parties instead of the misty mainland interior. That happy neglect leaves this prehistoric jungle wonderfully wild, empty, and quiet for the few who come. Glide silently across the lake by wooden longtail boat and you truly feel like an explorer entering some forgotten and lost world. Khao Sok generously rewards every traveler brave enough to leave the crowded coastline far behind. This is easily one of the most magical rainforests anywhere on the whole planet, and it remains shockingly uncrowded. Our next stop leaves the tropics far behind and climbs into the wild heart of the Carpathian Mountains. Number 8 brings us high into the Romanian Carpathians and the wild peaks of Retezat National Park. This rugged mountain range hides more than 80 glittering glacial lakes scattered across its remote and lonely alpine valleys. Sharp granite peaks rise above deep cirque lakes so perfectly clear they mirror the open sky and the surrounding ridgelines like glass. Among them lies Bucura, which happens to be the largest glacial lake in all of Romania. Hikers come here to trek from lake to lake across wild, wind-swept ridges that are rarely touched by any mass tourism. Every high pass you cross reveals yet another hidden basin of deep blue water cradled by jagged stone. Nimble chamois pick their way across the high crags, while brown bears, wolves, and elusive lynx roam the ancient forests far below. This remote park is one of the very last strongholds of large predators anywhere in Europe. A true hidden gem here is the sea of summer wildflowers that blankets the high meadows across the months of July and August. Rare alpine blooms turn entire mountain slopes into glowing carpets of color beneath the granite peaks. Retezat stays firmly under the radar because Romania itself remains a rarely explored corner of Europe for most outdoor travelers. Very few outsiders ever imagine that such pristine and dramatic mountains could possibly exist here. Spend a single night camped beside one of these silent glacial lakes, and you will fully understand why locals treasure this range. Retezat honestly feels like the Alps must have felt a whole century ago, wild and untamed. This is raw, unspoiled, and unforgettable wilderness for anyone craving genuine solitude high among the peaks. Next, we leave Europe entirely behind and travel toward the dramatic, sky-high highlands of northern Africa. At number 7, we reach the mighty Simien mountains of northern Ethiopia, a place often called the very roof of Africa. Jagged volcanic pinnacles and plunging escarpments stretch away to the hazy horizon in almost every direction. The landscape is a shattered plateau where cliffs drop more than 1,000 meters into hazy valleys. Erosion has sculpted the volcanic rock into a jagged skyline unlike anywhere else on Earth. The signature experience is standing at the escarpment edge as clouds boil up from the lowlands below. Crowning the range is Ras Dashen, the highest peak in Ethiopia at over 4,500 meters. The stars here are the gelada monkeys, gentle grass eaters that gather in troops hundreds strong across the slopes. Walk among them and they barely glance up as they graze the highland turf. A hidden detail is this critically endangered Walia ibex, a magnificent wild goat that is found nowhere else on the entire planet. Spotting one balanced calmly on a sheer cliff edge is a genuinely rare and unforgettable moment. The Simien stay overlooked because most travelers link Ethiopia only with ancient history and its famous rock-hewn churches. Very few ever realize the country also holds some of the most spectacular trekking terrain in all of Africa. Trek along the dizzying rim for days on end, and you will meet local shepherds, curious monkeys, and endless sweeping views. The Simien Mountains deliver raw adventure on a truly grand and humbling scale. This is genuinely one of the great walking destinations anywhere on Earth, and it hides almost completely in plain sight. Now we swing far to the north and cross into the immense frozen wild frontier of the Yukon. Number 6 carries us to Kluane National Park in Canada's Yukon, a kingdom of ice and rock. It shelters Mount Logan, the tallest mountain in Canada, buried deep within one of the largest ice fields on Earth. Beyond the visible ranges lies a vast frozen ocean of glaciers stretching far, far past the point where the eye can follow. Immense rivers of ice grind slowly between remote peaks that only a handful of humans have ever set foot upon. The ultimate experience here is a small bush plane flight soaring directly over that vast white wilderness of endless ice. Floating above Mount Logan and its enormous glaciers is a sight so immense it will completely stop your breath. Grizzly bears roam the green valleys alongside white doll sheep, moose, and one of the densest populations of these great bears in all of North America. Bald eagles circle high above the braided rivers that are fed by the constantly melting ice. A hidden detail is Kaskawulsh, a glacier so massive its meltwater recently shifted from one river system to another. Scientists call it a rare case of river piracy happening in our lifetime. Kluane stays deep under the radar simply because it sits so incredibly far from any major city or airport. Its sheer remoteness keeps the crowds away and leaves the wilderness wonderfully intact and untouched. Stand quietly at the edge of this endless ice field, and you will feel exactly how small a single person truly is. Kluane is the wild, frozen north at its most humbling, powerful, and magnificent. This is truly one of the very last great untouched wildernesses left anywhere on the entire continent. From frozen North America, we now drop thousands of miles south into the steaming jungles of Borneo. At number 5, we enter Gunung Mulu National Park on the island of Borneo in Malaysia. Beneath its rainforest lies some of the largest and most spectacular cave systems on the planet. The dense forest hides Deer Cave, a single passage so utterly enormous that it could easily swallow several great cathedrals whole. Underground rivers and glittering chambers stretch for hundreds of kilometers through the ancient limestone. Each and every evening, millions of bats pour out from Deer Cave in a twisting black ribbon that darkens the entire sky. Watching that living river spiral out into the fading dusk is honestly one of nature's greatest spectacles. The jungle high above teems with colorful hornbills, gliding flying lizards, tiny tree frogs, and countless species found only on Borneo. At night, the whole forest glows and hums with a wild chorus of thousands of unseen creatures. The hidden wonder is the pinnacles, a forest of razor-sharp limestone blades jutting from the mountainside. Reaching them demands a brutal climb, but the alien view at the top is unmatched. Gunung Mulu stays widely overlooked, because it can only be reached by a small propeller plane flying deep into the jungle. That total isolation fiercely protects both its vast caves and its ancient, untouched rainforest. Explore its vast caverns and swaying canopy walkways, and you will feel exactly like a true pioneer venturing into the unknown wild. Gunung Mulu is a staggering underground and overground natural marvel, all wrapped into one place. This is without a doubt one of the most extraordinary cave and jungle landscapes anywhere on the entire Earth. Next, we travel far south to the towering roof of New Zealand and its famously glittering night sky. Number 4 brings us to Aoraki, Mount Cook, the glittering crown of New Zealand's dramatic Southern Alps. This is the entire country's highest peak, a towering pyramid of ice and rock rising high above deep glacial valleys. Massive glaciers spill down from the high summits into milky blue lakes that are fed by slowly grinding rivers of ice. Snow-capped ridgelines completely encircle the valley in a near-perfect and breathtaking amphitheater of stone. The classic walk here is the famous Hooker Valley Track, leading you to a milky lake where small icebergs drift right beneath the peak. Very few day hikes anywhere on Earth deliver such staggering, jaw-dropping scenery for so little effort. Cheeky alpine Kia parrots boldly patrol the car parks and trails, while the rare black stilt wades quietly through the braided rivers below. These famously clever mountain parrots are found nowhere else in the entire world. The hidden magic arrives after dark inside this international dark sky reserve, one of the clearest on the planet. The Milky Way blazes so brightly it casts shadows across the valley floor. Aoraki stays quietly underrated because most travelers rush straight between Queenstown and the southern fjords without ever pausing here. Yet this single valley holds the most concentrated natural grandeur in all of New Zealand. Spend just a single night here, and you are rewarded with soaring snowy peaks by day and an entire galaxy of stars by night. Aoraki, Mount Cook, is truly a place of pure, unforgettable alpine wonder. This is genuine bucket list beauty, stacked layer upon layer from the green valley floor all the way to the heavens above. Now we cross the entire world once more to reach the land of fire and ice, Iceland. At number 3, we reach the vast Vatnajokull National Park, home to the single largest ice cap in all of Europe. Its immense glaciers bury active volcanoes and cover nearly a full tenth of the whole island of Iceland itself. Massive glacier tongues creep slowly down toward the black sand plains, while powerful waterfalls thunder off the surrounding highland cliffs. Fire and ice collide here in a raw landscape that feels exactly like the very dawn of the world. The unmissable experience here is stepping deep inside a natural blue ice cave that glows softly beneath the frozen glacier surface. Every single winter, these sapphire chambers form completely fresh, carved out by meltwater deep within the ice. Nearby, the stunning Jokulsarlen Lagoon fills to the brim with glowing icebergs that drift ever so slowly toward the crashing sea. Arctic terns wheel and dive overhead while curious seals bob among the floating chunks of ancient blue ice. A hidden detail is the glacier's power to reshape Iceland whenever a volcano erupts beneath the ice. These sudden floods, called Jökullaups, can unleash more water than the Amazon for a few violent hours. Vatnajokull stays largely overlooked as most visitors cluster tightly near the capital and its famous Golden Circle route. Yet the country's wildest and most otherworldly terrain lies far out here in the remote southeast. Walk across this immense ice cap, and you will witness the raw geological forces that are still actively building our planet today. Vatnajokull is truly nature at its most elemental, powerful, and awe-inspiring. This is without question one of the most surreal and dreamlike landscapes you will ever set your eyes upon. Next, we leave the endless Icelandic ice far behind and travel to the very oldest desert on Earth. Number 2 carries us to Namib-Naukluft in Namibia, guardian of the oldest desert on the planet. Its towering red dunes have been shifting under the African sun for over 50 million years. At the famous Sossusvlei, towering mountains of rust-colored sand rise more than 300 meters straight up into a cloudless desert sky. At sunrise, the great dunes glow crimson and gold against deep, cool pools of blue shadow. The haunting highlight is Deadvlei, a white clay pan studded with black skeletal trees that died centuries ago. Framed by burning orange dunes, it is one of the most surreal sights on Earth. Life somehow clings on here through hardy oryx, wandering ostriches, and tiny beetles that cleverly harvest moisture straight from the coastal fog. Even in this blistering furnace of sand, creatures have found truly ingenious ways to survive. A fascinating hidden detail is the eerie coastal fog that rolls silently in from the cold Atlantic and drapes the towering dunes at dawn. That thin mist is the secret lifeline quietly sustaining this entire ancient desert ecosystem. Namib-Naukluft stays deeply underrated because Namibia sits so far from the usual safari trails and tourist circuits of Africa. Those few who make the long journey out here find scenery unlike anywhere else on the entire continent. Climb to the crest of a dune at first light and watch the whole desert slowly catch fire in the sun around you. Namib-Naukluft is raw, ancient, and timeless beauty on a truly overwhelming scale. This is easily one of the most photogenic and jaw-dropping wild places anywhere on the entire planet. And now, at long last, we arrive at our #1 destination, deep in the wilds of Patagonia. #1 takes us to Los Glaciares National Park in Argentine Patagonia, a realm of ice and granite. Here, the mighty Perito Moreno Glacier meets the jagged spires of the southern Andes. The mighty Perito Moreno Glacier is a towering wall of blue ice roughly 5 kilometers wide and 60 meters tall at its face. Standing quietly before it, you can hear it groan and crack like a living, breathing giant of ice. The unforgettable moment comes when huge towers of ice calve away and crash into the lake below. That thunderous boom, followed by a surging wave, is a spectacle you feel in your chest. Towering over the north is Fitzroy, a fang of granite that lures climbers and hikers from across the globe. At dawn, its summit ignites a fiery red before the sun clears the peaks. Giant Andean condors ride the rising thermals high above, while wild guanacos graze the windswept steppe beneath the granite peaks. The southern beech forests blaze a deep red and gold whenever autumn sweeps dramatically across Patagonia. A hidden detail is that Perito Moreno is one of the few glaciers on Earth still holding its ground. While most retreat, this river of ice keeps advancing into the lake year after year. Los Glaciares stays underrated only because it sits at the very bottom edge of the world, so far from everything. Reaching it takes real effort and time, but the reward is scenery far beyond your wildest dreams. This is Patagonia at its most powerful and dramatic, and it is a truly fitting crown for our entire countdown today. Los Glaciares is a place that every single traveler should try to witness at least once in a lifetime. So, there you have it. 10 of the most stunning and underrated national parks anywhere on the entire planet. From Saxon Switzerland and Khao Sok to Vatnajokull, Namib-Naukluft, and the mighty Los Glaciares in Patagonia. Now I want to hear from you, so tell me in the comments which of these parks you would visit first. If this countdown inspired your next adventure, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. Thank you so very much for exploring these hidden corners of the world with us all the way to the very end. Aloha from all of us here at Kahana Designs. Please subscribe, and we will see you on the next adventure.